Omnec Onec was born on the astral level of the planet Venus and came to Earth with her own physical body in 1955. In the 90s, she became publicly known with her autobiography From Venus I Came, Today Part 1 of the Venusian Trilogy. In this book, she portrays life on the astral level of Venus and describes why and how she was born there and why as a child she was given the opportunity to lower her vibrations, to manifest a physical body and to come to Earth at the age of 7 in order to later in her life work as a spiritual teacher and fulfill her life cycles here on Earth. As I was born on the planet Venus in another dimension and came to your planet as a young child, I was able to retain the knowledge and information that I had gathered as a soul through many incarnations and lifetimes. I can keep this information intact, and what I teach people is actually what I know and not what I've read about or what I've heard, but what I have experienced through many different life cycles on Earth and in other dimensions. The astral plane is a dimension of lower density that cannot be seen or proven with physical means. According to Omnec, long time ago Venus and many other planets supported physical life very similar to the Earth today. By natural evolutionary cycles to changing living conditions and thanks to the spiritual development of the people, life could continue to exist on these planets in finer levels of vibration, but no longer in the physical. The unknown history of our solar system, the spiritual transformation of the Earth. In 1994, I had a meeting in meditation. I found myself in a valley, surrounded by thousands of people, human and non-human, among them people that I recognized like Paul Twitchell and Uncle Odin, of course. This is when they told me of the transformation process for the first time. Since the 1930s they had been working on it, creating the energy here step by step. There had been many meetings about it and needed the cooperation of many beings. Some did not want to participate, some did, and some beings from other galaxies just did not care. But they were convinced that the Earth is such a special planet because of all the different life forms that are on it. So many different aliens had visited and contributed to the life here. In order to understand the transformation and what the process is, you have to understand the history of this solar system, the human beings and the unknown history of the Earth. This was the information that was shown to me by the masters and beings at this meeting. About 40 million years ago. This is not precise because time is of no consequence, only the events are important and time is a concept created by man. From 4 different galaxies there were sent 4 different races of humans to this solar system. They were informed by the spiritual hierarchy to travel here and colonize the older planets. They were far more advanced than you can imagine. Not only did they have the ability to travel to different galaxies but also into different dimensions into the future or the past. They had telepathic abilities and no need of spoken language unless necessary for communicating with less evolved beings. They communicated with all life forms, animal, plant and mineral. They also communicated with those on other dimensions, who previously lived in the physical, angels, ascended masters, etc. Their technology was in complete harmony with the natural laws of creation. They had mastered the concepts of creativity with the energy of their thoughts. This comes with the responsibility to use it for positive and constructive reasons that are beneficial and harmonic or for selfish reasons, such as gaining power and wealth. They had complete understanding of creation and the Creator. They knew themselves to be soul and eternal, not restricted to the physical body. Death to them did not exist. For them it was a transition from one existence to another. They chose their own life spans according to the experiences they wished to have or missions they wished to complete. They came to this solar system to bring human life here and to be the protectors of all life on all planets. The yellow race colonized the planet you know as Mars, the red race the planet Saturn, the black race Jupiter and the white race Venus. Earth was then only a comet flying around as it had not taken the form of a planet or settled into an orbit around the Sun. When the Earth finally became a planet, it was beautiful with large bodies of water. The 4 races went to far galaxies and brought many forms of animals, fish, birds, plants and minerals and created a unique paradise where all life forms lived in harmony. Within other systems there were also humans and other non-human beings that were not as advanced as these 4 races. However, they had the technology for space travel but still retained a more aggressive and conquering level of consciousness. They had heard of this beautiful new planet. At this time, Earth had 2 moons to harmonize the weather conditions and control the tides of the large bodies of water. The first beings to inhabit the planet were a dinoid and reptoid race from 2 different systems outside our solar system. They were intelligent and walked on two legs like humans and were warlike, considering themselves to be superior to all other life forms. In the past, the four races of humans had conflicts with them before they outgrew such behavior. They arrived on Earth to rob it of its minerals and valuable gems. Soon they had created a terrible war. They were joined by reinforcements from their home planets. One set up its base on one of the Earth's moons, the other on Earth. It was a terrible war with advanced nuclear and laser weapons like you see in your science fiction movies. It lasted very long. Most of the life forms lay in singed waste and the one moon was destroyed. No longer interested in Earth, they went back to their planets, leaving their wounded behind. They had no use for them. The four races sent a few forces to see if they could help the wounded dinoids and reptilians and to see what they could do to repair the Earth. They soon found that due to the nuclear radiation it was too dangerous on Earth before it was cleared. Even they had to remain so as not to contaminate their own planets. Due to the radiation, the survivors of the dinoids and reptoids mutated into the dinosaurs and giant reptilians you know of in your history. The humans that were trapped there mutated into what you call Neanderthals. The Earth remained a devastated ruin, covered by a huge dark nuclear cloud, and what vegetation was left was being devoured by the giant beings, also humans and animals by some. It was this way for hundreds of years before a giant comet crashed into one of the oceans and created another huge cloud. This created such darkness that the radiating heat of the sun could not interact with Earth's gravitational field and an ice age was created. This destroyed the mutated life forms and gave the four races the chance to cleanse and heal the Earth with technology and their energy. Once again, they brought various forms of life to the Earth, creating again a paradise, except for extreme weather conditions and extreme tidal activities. During this time they realized that their planets were going into a natural dormant stage, that they would not be able to support physical life. So they decided to colonize the Earth with their own people. They were concerned about the one moon, because it is creating earthquakes and tidal waves and storms and other difficulties for the structure of the Earth. They knew how to drink fluids to protect and balance themselves. These were the first colonies like Atlantis and Lemuria. The rest of the people stayed on their planets to await their destiny. They knew that they would perish and die. They had made the decision only to bring the younger generation with some spiritual teachers and elders to the Earth. The planet was too small for all of them. But they had no fear of death. They had once again created a paradise. They were instructed to build special temples here as doorways to the other dimensions. There they could do their meditations and communicate with the higher beings. Because of the aggressive beings, the temples were hidden for future times when they will be important. They were informed to build 2 shields around the Earth out of ice particles to balance the influence of the one moon. They created a tropical climate for the Earth. There were no deserts at that time. They have special crystals for these doorways and they were able to lower their vibration to enter through these doorways. The news spread of the beautiful planet. So the dark forces came here again. They are human beings but not as advanced at that time. They have a different genetic structure. They were very powerful but wanted to use this power for manipulating and controlling. The people that were left on the other planets were doing a meditation at their last moment, and as a reward the spiritual hierarchy told them that their culture would exist in the other dimensions and that this would protect the beings here. It was wonderful for them and it would serve a purpose in the future. Another race of humans from a close system came here and tried to negotiate to get information and technology, but when they were informed that they could not have it for fear of misuse and break of the spiritual laws, they declared war on the colonies. The colonies did not fight back but send most of their people into hiding to rebuild the colonies later. They destroyed. Lemuria and Atlantis were destroyed by their inhabitants so that their knowledge and technology would not be misused by the dark forces. Some people hid in the center of the Earth, where they are still living. In this process the crystal structures were damaged, and part of the people that were hiding on the surface of the Earth were informed that there would be a flood on the Earth, because the crystal structures were going to fall and melt and cause a huge flood. So they were to build huge ships and save as many life forms as they could. There were hundreds of arks, not just one like we are told in the Bible. They waited for the flood to recede, as did the dark forces. They came here once again to capture these people because they had realized that they were genetically different. They tortured them to get as much information as they could about the hidden temples for themselves and their power. As they knew that the people could rebuild the earth as long as they had their communication with the other dimensions, they separated the brain halves of all the beings they captured, so that they would no longer have the ability to communicate with the other dimensions or remember their past lives or the technology or the temples or anything. The human beings were reprogrammed and set up as different races and colors, and they gave them religions and set themselves up as gods to be worshipped. Wars developed, and the controlling forces were the rich ones, having all the information and power. It got worse and worse, and today it is not different. It is continuing on a more subtle level, and the human beings have no longer an awareness of this. Although deep inside they have a feeling that there is more, and they do look to the heavens and believe that they came from somewhere else, because they feel their existence here is not correct. Of course it is their soul that does remember this, but the programming here is so complete. The transformation is that all of these beings that have reincarnated since then and developed, as well as the spiritual hierarchy themselves, want to correct this. The first thing they did was to introduce the spiritual information here on Earth. There was an influx of information coming, and the esoteric movement grew in the societies and became more and more popular and common. They also contacted the leaders of the countries, but the cooperation was refused as they were not going to give up their control. The spiritual beings knew that they must save the earth from going into destruction again, and they knew that with the technology developed there would be more genetic manipulation here. Furthermore, the invention of the atomic bomb was the risk that the earth could be totally destroyed. This would have vast effects, not only for this solar system, but for the whole galaxy, and it would damage innumerous beings. The Galactic Brotherhood, a federation of innumerous spiritually high-evolved beings from different dimensions, therefore decided to put an end to this control, manipulation, and misuse. For decades, they are working to change the whole energy of this planet so that the established technologies eventually would cease to function, but new technologies will be introduced when the transformation is complete and when the frequency of the planet and its inhabitants has changed. All of the Galactic Brotherhood, many races, human and non-human, the spiritual hierarchy, ascended masters, non-physical beings like angels, and the nature spirits are cooperating. Lady Gaia is the special angel for the earth itself. The hidden temples have been reactivated, so that also energy flows in from the higher realms through them. Spaceships were located around the Earth to send vibrations to change the frequency. These ships vibrate at such a rate that they cannot be seen by human eyes or detected by radar, and they are continually sending their special energy to the Earth. The nature spirits informed all of nature to change its frequency. The birds' sound, the bees, the water, the wind, everything has an effect on our environment. The increase of the frequency is a gradual process. Approximately since 1993, when the hidden temples had been reactivated, it is certain that the process will be successful. They did not know it before, but the effort was made on so many different levels and with the people here. The more participation, the faster the transformation will take place. They made it a gradual transformation, because the too fast changes would have damaged the cellular structure. You have an artificial support system, which is a new chakra system. It synchronizes the two brain halves to function as one along with the new frequencies, to give them back the abilities of their ancestors, to have mental telepathy, intuition, remember past lives, and receive individual spiritual information. Chakras are miniature doorways to the energy of each dimension. There is a chakra for each dimension in the body. Children born after 1993 already have the changes within their bodies. They are born with the genetic system and the new chakra system intact. While getting the new chakra system, there can be some physical uncomfortable feelings, such as short sharp pains like someone is sticking a needle in your body, you have your vision blurring, you have high-pitched sounds in your ears, you will have rapid heartbeats. You will have times when you feel a little panicky, you will feel dreadfully tired even if you have rested plenty. Sometimes you will wake up after only a few hours sleeping and you will feel very energetic. Appetite will fluctuate, you will have times when you are constantly hungry and times when you don't feel the need to eat at all. All these unusual occurrences are temporary. It is important to drink plenty of liquids, to flush certain toxins out of the body. Your intuitive abilities are returning, and your ability to communicate through mental telepathy with one another. We have to realize that everything is valuable. Even the negative forces serve to help us to experience diverse qualities of ourselves or to experience these qualities and possibilities. But some people become attached to having the power and the control and to use the life energy for control over others. It has been the problem that the people cannot overcome their ego and their tendencies to use each other and this energy for their own general self and selfishness. In the future, the earth will serve a different purpose than it has served in the past. It was more or less a place where that people could encounter the opposite energy from the soul, the yin and yang, the negative and the positive. Of course, in reality it is the same energy. The division has been created by concepts. By determining that this behavior is bad and a different attitude is good, you divide the energy into good and bad. This way, you also help support the negative process. Our ancestors were totally selfless people. They did not want to destroy or damage anything that was from the Creator, from nature, because they felt in a harmony with it. It was a natural way of surviving with the existing life forms in this physical world, corresponding, communicating, and cooperating with them. These are the things that are going to be reinstalled in the human being. In the past, during the original colonies on Earth, the feminine qualities were ruling. The people were more using their intuition and the feminine principles of loving and caring. Then, after the genetic manipulation, the male energy was controlling the societies and individuals with more force, more destruction, more might. In the future, the earth will serve as a place where that the male and the female powers will be equal and balanced within every individual. Furthermore, the earth will serve as a purpose for human beings to experience everything in one life cycle. They can manifest a body of choice. It does not have to be male or female, it can be the both energies and the qualities in one, because the physical body will not be of the same material as it is now and it will be on a different frequency. People will form communities and connections and work together with the animals and the different life forms. The earth will be a totally different place than you know. With the collapse of the negative powers, the aggression will recede, and there will be no need to actually overpower others or to be in charge of something. Every person will be in charge of their own selves and of creating their existence. The fear will be removed, and we will not have the need of the man-made laws anymore. We will just naturally obey the spiritual laws, because as an advanced soul with a full consciousness and awareness, you will be able to govern yourself in a way that is in harmony with everything that exists. We have lived that way on other planets for millions of years. It is just a natural harmony of obeying the spiritual laws. It takes a lot of willpower and acceptance to go through this process individually and accepting the changes that take place in our societies. You only have to help to visualize and to create these possibilities. Imagine what it can be like or what you like it to be like, and eventually you will have that. We can look forward to actually creating what we are, what we wish to be, what we wish to experience rather than being forced to experience what already exists. I hope that this information can inspire you and gives you the courage and ability to face whatever will come and accept it as the divine will, because whatever happens in the continuum of life is always meant to be. You have to learn to accept things and depend on your creative abilities to see you through the difficult times. But you have assistance from the other beings who have an alternative method of power and energy for you to use. In the very, very future of the earth, after the transformation is complete, it will be a totally different living style and a totally different awareness on the earth. The thing that I hope that you can remember is, a soul is perfect, a soul is beautiful, and individual and complete. You have to remember your own beauty and qualities, that every experience that you have ever had in your creation, in your life cycles, is a part of what makes up the special jewel that is each individual soul. This beauty and these qualities are determined by your individual process and development through your life experiences. There is no end to your existence. You have eternity to look forward to, when you can overcome the concepts of time and aging. If you can be happy and really appreciate the preciousness of life and experiences, then you have a better chance for a beautiful life and enjoying. Of course, you should enjoy every sense that you have in the physical world, because these senses will not be the same in the future, as the physical body will be totally different. You have to enjoy the different aspects of being a human being, and of course creating a balance and a harmony within yourself, because you are the only one that can do that. I hope this information is valuable and that you can share it with others, because the more people consciously and actively participate in the transformation process and start using their energy in a positive way, the faster it will go. I would like to leave you with a Venusian greeting which means, may the universal love and blessings be, Amualabaktu Baraka Bashad.